aka WRAPS. I know I only have a nanosecond to get your attention, so for those of you who have never been to this channel before, my name is Lasha. Originally the channel was called High Voltage. It's now called Justice Warriors. I started this channel just to let you know what my intent and goal and origin is. There is a video that you can watch to find out like who I am. I put up a video not too long ago, and this is in reference to the last statement I made about who I am. And my mother and I are both obsessed with White Lotus. And there's this one part. Mom, what's the character's name? Mom? Mom?
Yes?
What's the character's name in White Lotus?
The character?
Yeah, the lady with the blonde hair.
I'm not sure.
Okay, you know the lady that was in Legally Blonde and she was Elle's friend? Okay, that lady is in the first 2 seasons of White Lotus. Now, if you watch Maureen Callahan, she'll probably tear White Lotus apart. And she's very somatic. And I finally understand what semantics means. Finally, I've looked it up in the dictionary. However, before I get into that, I just wanted to say, to find out who I am, there's a clip in White Lotus where a character says, I am so tired, it's exhausting. I have to take down the first layer of the onion and then the second layer of the onion. And I just want to get down to the core of the onion. And at the core of the onion, there's just a straight up lunatic alcoholic. And the reason I love that is because when I first started this channel, my onion was already open, okay? You already met the crazy, okay? So I started this because of a medical malpractice, and I will talk about it a little later. But today I really wanted to concentrate on talking about the non-donation charity that I'm starting here. Jeffrey Epstein, Keith Raniere, Harvey Weinstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Elon Musk, semantics, and AI. Because based on a gentleman that I spoke with today, and on good authority, he works for a part of the government that pricks. That was a total Freudian slip. He's not a prick at all. Hi there, Dandy World. How are you? What's a KRK shop? I don't even know what that is, but is it like a candy shop or something? At any rate, so I have it on good authority through some very intelligent people that you can use an AI pad, tell your life story to the AI pad. So for example, I could start with the medical malpractice from 2017, and I can give them every single detail. And then if I need help, I need to call it a name. So you know what I'm going to call. Anybody who knows me knows what I'm going to call the name of this AI thing, right? I'm going to call it Sophie, because Sophie is the dog that saved my life when I was in that wheelchair for the year. And that's why I started the channel. You know, 16 people were watching, and it's like you can't keep anybody's attention for something new for 2 seconds. So on good authority, I was told that Candace Owens was propaganda. It's his job to find out. I think there's some sort of organization that he works for, and they're supposed to be the good guys, and they filter out and sort of inform whomever, because I didn't ask any questions, what the propaganda is. So I was telling this person about Candace Owens, and I'm going to call my AI friend, which is just so freaking weird, Sophie. Okay, somebody said KRK. I'm assuming you're talking about crack. Are you? Okay. No, it's a dog bite. For heaven's sakes, look. I was bit by a dog because it was a pit bull and it was an abused dog, and I was outside, I had my scooter, I stopped, it was my fault, because the dog looked like Sophie Ann, my dog that passed away on January the 29th of 2025, which I know nobody cares, but you know, to me, I care. And anybody who's watched this channel before knows. Anyhow, so I bend down and I asked the lady, is the dog okay to touch? Because since Sophie passed away, I've been feeling fearful. Because she was my sidekick. She was my, I have so many videos on how Sophie and I met. All my shorts, if you go to Popular and look, they're all of my dog and I. Hello, Bill. She's high. She doesn't know what she's talking about. What are you talking about? That's so unkind. And it's high on what? What am I high on? Because I have small eyes? Seriously? I'm part Asian, for heaven's sakes. That is so rude. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I don't really understand how it works. I don't really understand my friend's job and how he talks about AI, and there's a little pad that you can set up for yourself, tell your life story, and then when you want strategies, it talks about, he was talking about semantics and the verbiage we feed to ourselves. And then I said, but I don't, like, how do you regulate what's propaganda and what's not? That's what I don't know what he's talking about, because I said Candace Owens did a piece on Bridget Macron and said, and did a huge, deep journalistic dive with other French journalists that have been on this story about Macron being transgender and hiding it for years, and they couldn't find pictures of Macron for the first 30 years of her life. And I found that quite interesting, that he said that, and he said that's propaganda. I said, how do you know it's propaganda? He said, I've seen pictures of Bridget Macron in her teens and 30s, and he said it's all propaganda. And I didn't understand that. So no, I do not understand that, but that does not mean that I'm high. Mom, not very nice. Mom, I'm live right now, and there's people on the channel saying that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm high.
About what?
I was talking about AI and how my friend, you know who, told me that he was giving me like an iPad, but it's not connected to the internet, and you talk into it. It tells, you can talk about anything that's bothering you, anything that's good for you.
It reprograms you.
Yes.
Very, very dangerous.
Do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
So I was trying to explain
very
it.
Dangerous.
And look at this. Look at what these people say. Look. Or crack shop.
What is that?
Crack.
What does that mean?
am gonna go by.
What is
She's
it?
high. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
What in God's
I know,
name?
I know. Help her.
Oh my
Crack
God.
shop.
Oh,
Sammy.
Come on.
Should we still be friends, Bill?
Wait,
Hey, what's up?
What are these?
Why you staying like that?
Why?
You're high.
What did you do?
Nah,
Lasha.
bro, you will want wrong.
What?
I have no idea.
My good God, what is wrong with you? She's not. She's a sincere person. Stop that nonsense, please. I beg of you.
And you know what? And they probably saw this, the dog bite,
Oh.
and thought,
Oh.
right?
Oh, isn't that just so sad? Please stop. It's not true. I'm 75. I've been around for a long time. And my daughter is not high. Okay? So, knock it off.
and if you don't want to listen to what I have to say,
Don't
then
listen.
don't listen. What's this? Wow, that's old.
Oh, what's old? My face?
No, that's old. He's talking about excuses because my eyes are small. You know why?
Oh, I'll tell you
You know
why.
why? Because you know what, smartass? Because I started this channel because a surgeon broke my knee in a femur operation and left me in a wheelchair for a year
Yeah,
and didn't say a word,
5.5 months.
got away with it, and I had to have 3 corrective surgeries.
We had
and-
to move down here.
Yeah, and you know what? I got Botox the other day because the frowning from my face and the sadness, because there was no justice, my eyelids are like that, and I'm tired of trying to explain to people my
Listen,
culture. It's just
I will
it's
tell
so
you.
sick of
I
it.
will tell you, all right? Her grandfather was born down near Mongolia in Russia. Okay? That is her grandfather. When she was born, she looked exactly like her grandfather.
I looked like an Eskimo.
I was told she had a third eyelid.
And they were going to cut it off when I was a baby.
And did I want to have that operation done? And I said, no, please leave her alone. And those are her eyes. And the eyes are the window to the soul. And what is wrong with you people talking that way? Please stop. So wrong.
You know what I would like to do right now? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to take this phone and throw it on the ground because I'm sick of people saying things like that and I'm tired of insults. So, for those of you that do not think that I am making sense, then don't watch. At any rate, so I wanted to talk about the Diddy trial because it's very important as a woman. Do you want me to close that, Mom? It's very, very important. No, it's okay because let the air in.
Yeah.
What about the air conditioning? Okay. You like that?
Yeah.
Breeze?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Back in the studio. Okay. So my mother and I rented this 1.5 bedroom apartment, but I was able to make it my own at any rate. Trevor's the moderator of the channel, Trevor's Infinite Horizons. So what I was going to say, so the origin of the channel was because of the leg injury. The surgeon didn't say anything. So what my mother is saying is from October the 27th of 2017, October the 28th of 2017, all the way up until January the 23rd of 2018, my leg was literally like this. It was straight out, okay? Because he put nails under the kneecap, right? And the hardware under the kneecap. And I used to be, I'll be 54 very, very soon. And I used to be 25 pounds heavier because my muscles atrophied at 46. You're starting to lose your estrogen, your testosterone, and when your hormones start getting changed and your body is in fight or flight all the time, right? Because I was in so much pain, my blood pressure normally like 120, and it would be up to like 158. And you know why this is important? Because the story isn't about me anymore, but I know there are other people who have found injustices in their lives. We've all been through injustices. We can all relate to it, but in different ways. But my story is, and it's not my story or my truth, it's the facts. And when I was talking to these two friends of mine this morning, both of them male, both of them over 65, both of them highly intelligent, my friend was explaining to his friend it was a hospital cover-up. He lied, he falsified information, he didn't say he made a mistake. So every single oath that a surgeon takes in Ontario, Canada, he broke, therefore being a human rights violation. Now, what does that have to do with Jeffrey Epstein and PDid and Ghislaine Maxwell, Elon Musk, semantics, and AI? So I'm just giving you context on what happened. It almost got to the point where my own doctor was going to drop me because he didn't understand why I was still in a wheelchair after 3 months, because based on the paperwork he was receiving, I should have been walking. Now this is according to Dr. Corcola at the Barrie Hospital at the Royal Victoria Hospital, and he performed surgery, and I think, and I swear to you, I think he was on drugs, because there is no surgeon on the planet that maintains that kind of happiness over a 48 to 72 to a 96-hour period. It's not humanly possible. And the mistake he made was so grave that when I asked my doctor, he said, I don't trust you anymore, you're overusing your medication. And I said, I understand. That's why I've been coming every 2 weeks, because I'm scared. Because when I asked the surgeon what's wrong, he says, I don't know. My mother was a witness, you know. And it happens to people all the time. However, in the research that I've done, in the library, online, over the last 2 or 3 years, this is not, Kathy, no, I am not going to the barbecue tonight. No. Anyways, that's why I started the channel, because when I went through that experience, I felt really alone. I didn't feel that I had the support that I needed. It was very isolating. And when my doctor found out from Dr. Ma from McMaster in Hamilton, Ontario, Dr. Ma said, your leg is as broken as the day that it happened. And he said, the longer the nails are in your knee, the more erosion, bone erosion you're going to have. Now, the whole point of the story at the core in the middle of it, at the core of the crazy and the core of the onion and the cycle that I went through, the root was his lie. He didn't say a word. When I would ask him why, he would say, I'm a slow healer. These are documented events. And the other thing that I found interesting is I was seeing a psychiatrist way back when because of a relationship, which I now realize that people project all the time. What people see in you or say about you, most times they're really talking about themselves, especially bullies and people that insult. And I'm not even looking at comments right now, so I have no idea what anybody's saying, but it's very true. And I remember when I was a kid, people used to call me chink eyes, Chinese eyes. So when people come online here and say that I look high, it's triggering for me because I remember my feelings as a child. Speaking of which, that's why I started the channel. I didn't feel I had a voice. I'm not the type of person to sit down and whine about anything because I didn't survive anything. I'm not a victim of anything. So, the reason that I put up the dance shorts is because I got dance ballet shoes on December the 18th of 2024, and I always wanted to be a ballet dancer. And you know what? The surgeon missed my knee joint by a millimeter. And if he had hit the knee joint, guess what? I wouldn't be doing this. So, all of the shorts that I have, oh, that's all my scooter gear. So really, I'm very proud of what I got through. And I couldn't have gotten through that without the support. And when I started this channel, it was again a projection of me wanting to help others that didn't feel that they received help. And I know that I'm not the only person in the world that feels that way. And 111 people signed the change.org. I've been in contact with Gail Hunt at the Royal Victoria Hospital, who's the CEO, because what that damage and what his lie and him being complicit and covering himself. And then you look at the elites. Okay, so like Candace Owens, when I was talking at the beginning about AI, okay, and my mother explained it best. With the Bridget Macron series that she did with the French journalists, it was really, really, really incredible, the work that Candace Owens put into journalism. And it's interesting because she doesn't see herself as... Okay, this is what Candace Owens said. She said, I'm like an acquired taste. She said, she's so professional. And she said, I am an acquired taste. Not everybody likes Brussels sprouts. But when you get used to Brussels sprouts, you get used to them. So I know it takes a while to get used to me. And I thought to myself, gosh darn, she used the wrong vegetable. People hate Brussels sprouts or they love Brussels sprouts. Nobody's ever in between, Candace. You need to pick a new vegetable, like maybe broccoli, okay? You're not a Brussels sprout. You're like one of those candies that have the sour around it, but once you get to the core, you're amazing. But they were telling me that her documentary about Bridget McCrone was propaganda bull yak. And I just don't believe it. And she really does stick up for people like Harvey Weinstein, because she always talks about her boys and the Me Too movement and it went too far. And what I realize is if you have 4,700,000 people that are listening to what you say, what is the difference between a cult and a culture? And she's a staunch religious woman, but I can never understand how she can talk to the Tate brothers. And Elon Musk, is Donald Trump really trying to have him deported? And did Donald Trump really say, are we still talking about that guy? And then Elon Musk mentioned Steve Bannon. Woo! There's so much going on. Anyways, I try to keep things a little light, so I'm coming off the live and I'm doing a video because I found Andrew Gold's Psychology of Secrets, and a subscriber, participant, somebody who enjoys my content, actually sent me this book for my birthday last year, and you know who you are, and thank you so, so much. Okay, anyways, have a great, great day, everybody. Happy Saturday, July the 12th of 2025. This day will never happen again. And instead of using AI, I think I'm just going to stick to my book and my diary and what I'm doing, and if I do have something important to say. And my main theme today is that Candace Owens isn't a Brussels sprout. No, 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 no. We love Brussels sprouts or we hate Brussels sprouts. No, 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 no. It's like she's like mild salsa sauce. No, I've got to think of a different vegetable. Maybe celery. Some people don't like to get things stuck in their teeth. Anyhow, that's a wrap. I just wanted to unwrap that. And here's a joke for you. You know when she said, when I was talking at the beginning, that, oh, by the way, anybody who goes through trauma, especially women, I just want you to know, and this is a known fact, that women's brains can shrink. Now, when I was anorexic, I said to one of my family members, I said, so-and-so, do you think when I was anorexic that my brain shrunk? And he said, oh, Lash, you definitely burnt some brain cells. I thought that was pretty damn funny. Oh, what was my joke? I had a joke. To wrap it up. Oh yeah, okay, so when I was working at Yella's and I was cutting 16 onions, and Diane and Gary came to the back and they said, Lash, are you okay? I said, yeah, why? And they said, you're not crying. I said, crying? I said, crying? I said, I'm going to be 54. I said, look, I said, you're only allotted so many tears in your lifetime, and then guess what? You don't have any left. So it wouldn't matter to me if you put me in front of 100 onions or 6 onions. I wouldn't cry. It is to me. That's how I keep my humor. That's how I keep positive. And I was thinking, what is positive? It means you eat well, you take care of yourself, you respect yourself. You can make a joke of yourself. You don't have to take yourself too seriously. And what happened was so wrong. But the reason it's a non-donation charity is because we're so close to monetization, and I've been using my own money to conduct raffles because I wanted people to understand that I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And what was so kind on this channel is when Random Citizen won, he sent it to MM and she got me a gift. And then another person won and gave it to her friend. And then another person won and gave it to somebody else. And then the person who won the Meghan Markle trivia contest told me to give it to Trevor. So the people on this channel that have joined the community are really, really kind. So anyways, thanks for joining. I hope you have a wonderful day. You know, I don't like to say subscribe and stuff because, you know, like for example, when I started to dance again, when I was able to bend my knee, she sent me some of her artwork and I used her artwork as the background to dance to. And then like Mr. X sent me Andrew Gould's Psychology of Secrets and people were cheering for me to get better, you know, because it was really bad. It was corruption, not at the level of these big, you know, oligarchs, these Hollywood guys and women. I don't even want to talk about Oprah. That school was nothing but a cover-up, and people just hide in plain sight. People hide in plain sight. They really, really do. And that's why I said, when I started the channel, you already saw the core of the crazy, and I'm putting myself together and trying to talk about things that are important to me, and the PDF thing is not. And I just wanted to share what I learned about this AI pad, and I thought, you know what, I've got my pad, and I'm going to be 54, and I like it this way. So long, farewell, I need to say goodbye. Oh, Random Citizen used to miss my singing. All right, so let's see. It's about as bad as it can be. Seems everybody's bugging me. That nothing wants to go my way. Just begun my day, nothing's coming easily. Even my skin is acting weird. I wish that I could grow a beard and cover up my spots and not play connect the dots. I just wanna disappear. Okay, thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and I appreciate those of you that watch this afterwards. And so long and farewell, and that's a wrap. Be good to each other. Welcoming, respecting aspects of people's societies. I just can't figure out if Candace Owens is propaganda or not, and if Bridget Macron truly is a man that transitioned to a woman, and I was told that that wasn't true and that was propaganda. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.